In this video, we'll be taking a look at two NFL games happening on December 17, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these two NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Houston Texans versus Tennessee Titans. In a crucial American Football Conference South Division showdown, the Houston Texans, sporting a 7-6 record on the season, are gearing up to clash with the 5-8 Tennessee Titans. This contest marks the inception of a critical 2-game series set to unfold within the next 3 matchups, emphasizing the high stakes in their divisional rivalry. Fresh off a disheartening loss to the Jets last week, the Texans are now on a quest for redemption, seeking to reassert themselves in the playoff race. Meanwhile, the Titans, riding a wave of momentum after orchestrating a remarkable comeback against the Dolphins on Monday night, aim to solidify their position in the division standings. Throughout the season, the Texans have proven to be a team of contradictions, oscillating between gritty victories and humbling defeats. Averaging 22 points per game, the Houston offense has found success through the air with 21 touchdowns and a mere 5 interceptions. However, the ground game tells a different story, struggling to muster a mere 96.6 yards per game and accumulating just 9 scores. Their recent encounter with the Jets unfolded as a tale of woe, with the Texans being outscored 30-6 after a scoreless first half. Quarterback C.J. Stroud managed only 91 passing yards, while the rushing attack, led by Devin Singletary, could only muster 65 yards and a lone touchdown. Brevin Jordan contributed 35 yards from 3 catches, underscoring the offensive challenges faced by the Texans. On the flip side, the Titans commenced the season with an arduous journey, registering losses in 8 of their initial 12 games. Their triumphs over the Chargers, Bengals, Falcons, and Panthers resulted in an average of 18 points per game, accompanied by a relatively stout defense allowing 21 points on the other end. The passing game garnered 183.2 yards per game, yielding 10 scores and grappling with 8 interceptions. However, Monday's epic battle against the Dolphins witnessed a dramatic turnaround as the Titans, down by 14 points in the final 3 minutes, staged an astonishing comeback to secure a 28-27 victory. Quarterback Will Levis showcased resilience, posting 327 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Derrick Henry contributed 34 rushing yards and 2 crucial scores, while DeAndre Hopkins proved pivotal with 7 receptions for 124 yards and a touchdown. With the Titans completing a 14-point fourth-quarter comeback against one of the league's top teams, they aspire to harness this victory as a catalyst for a late-season surge. Conversely, the Texans find themselves in a precarious position, coming off a demoralizing loss to the Jets, compounded by the uncertainty surrounding quarterback C.J. Stroud, who is currently in concussion protocol. In the event Stroud is unable to play, David Mills, with a previous victory against the Titans, will assume the starting role. Notably, the Texans must address their underwhelming ground game, averaging under 100 yards per contest. Despite a porous performance against the Jets, the Texans' defense has limited opponents to over 30 points on only 3 occasions this season, fueling optimism for a rebound performance. Tennessee's offensive struggles, averaging 18 points per game, predominantly stem from their reliance on a run-first approach. Additionally, their pass protection has been a vulnerability, evidenced by the 42 sacks conceded as a team. Even if Stroud is sidelined, the Texans possess the potential to keep the game tightly contested through adept play-action passing and a resilient defensive effort. Thus, the Houston Texans to cover the spread as underdogs stands out as our full-game side pick. Delving into the specifics of the team's offensive performances, the Texans have been averaging 22 points per game, with a balanced attack featuring 258.2 passing yards and 96.6 rushing yards. C.J. Stroud, despite being doubtful for the upcoming game, has amassed 3,631 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions this season. season. In the event Stroud is unavailable, either Davis Mills or Case Keenum will step into the quarterback role. Devin Singletary has been the workhorse on the ground, accumulating 590 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Nico Collins has been a reliable target with 60 receptions for 1,004 yards and 6 scores. Defensively, the Texans have allowed an average of 21.5 points per game. Contrastingly, the Titans' offense has averaged 18.5 points per game, with 193.7 passing yards and 106.9 rushing yards. Will Levis has been at the helm, contributing 1,593 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Derrick Henry has been a force on the ground, amassing 875 yards and 10 scores, while DeAndre Hopkins has hauled in 57 receptions for 898 yards and 6 touchdowns. The Titans' defense, on the other hand, has allowed an average of 22 points per game this season, as both teams have frequently found themselves on the underside in 8 of their 13 games this season. Injuries and recent offensive struggles may tip the scales towards another low-scoring affair. Despite the Titans' recent offensive surge, totaling 58 points in their last 2 games, the preceding 4 games witnessed them struggling to surpass 17 points. In a divisional matchup against the Texans, a team boasting a defense allowing only 22 points per game and effectively stifling the run, the Titans might encounter difficulties in generating significant offensive output. Factor in the potential absence of their starting quarterback, and the Titans could face challenges moving the ball effectively. Considering the potential hindrances on the offensive front for both teams, especially with the Texans potentially starting a backup quarterback in Davis Mills, a struggle for offensive productivity is anticipated. Mills, seen as a substantial downgrade from C.J. Stroud, lacks the athleticism to replicate Stroud's playmaking abilities. The expectation is for the Texans to adopt a run-heavy approach, utilizing clock management to keep the game close. Hence, under the projected total emerges as our full game total pick, anticipating a defensive battle and a contest characterized by limited offensive fireworks. New York Jets versus Miami Dolphins. On the highly anticipated Sunday clash set for December 17th, the Jets are gearing up for an American Football Conference East showdown on the road against the Dolphins. Sporting a 5-8 record this season, the Jets are entering the game with newfound confidence after a resounding victory against the Texans, effectively snapping a disheartening 5-game losing streak. In contrast, the Dolphins, perched atop the American Football Conference East standings, are merely 1 game away from seizing the coveted number 1 seed in the American Football Conference, boasting a commendable 9-4 overall record despite a recent setback against the Titans on Monday night. While the Jets have endured a challenging season, there are glimpses of positivity, particularly on the defensive front. The team has displayed resilience, conceding an average of just 20 points per game. However, the offensive output lags behind, averaging a modest 15.5 points per game. Delving deeper into their offensive performance, the passing game has been measured, yielding 176.9 yards per game, 9 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. The rushing attack has contributed 89.8 yards per game with only 4 touchdowns. In their recent clash with the Texans, the Jets finally had reason to celebrate as they secured a convincing 30-6 victory. Quarterback Zach Wilson orchestrated an impressive performance, amassing 301 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. The rushing duties were shared, with Breece Hall contributing 40 yards on the ground, complemented by Garrett Wilson's stellar 108 receiving yards from 9 receptions. Shifting the spotlight to the Dolphins, their season has been characterized by consistency, with only 3 losses in their first 12 games. The team averaged an impressive 32 points per game during this stretch while maintaining a commendable defensive effort, allowing 22 points on average. The rushing game has been a standout, churning out an average of 143.3 yards per game with 22 touchdowns. However, the Dolphins' most recent encounter with the Titans resulted in a heart-wrenching 28-27 defeat, squandering a 14-point lead in the final minutes. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa posted 240 yards on 2-3 of 3-3 passing, with Jalen Waddle contributing 79 yards on 6 receptions. Despite the setback, running back Raheem Mostert showcased his prowess with 96 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. The loss to the Titans was a bitter pill for the Dolphins, and it raises questions about their playoff readiness. This setback could potentially influence their upcoming game against the Jets as they seek to rebound convincingly. The Dolphins had a dominant performance against the Jets a few weeks ago, and history suggests their ability to cover the spread when favored by double digits. So the Miami Dolphins to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Analyzing the offensive statistics, the Jets are averaging 15.5 points per game, with Zach Wilson accumulating 2,245 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. The rushing game, led by Breece Hall, has contributed 625 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Garrett Wilson has been a reliable target with 76 receptions for 853 yards and 3 scores. Defensively, the Jets are allowing 20 points per game. On the flip side, the Dolphins boast an offensive powerhouse, averaging 32 points per game. Tua Tagovailoa has thrown for 3,697 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, while Raheem Mostert has rushed for 924 yards and 16 scores. Tyreek Hill has been a key receiving threat with 97 catches for 1,542 yards and 12 touchdowns. The Dolphins' defense, while solid, has given up an average of 23 points per game. Considering recent developments, the Jets displayed offensive resurgence with a 30-point outing last week, boosting Zach Wilson's confidence. However, the Dolphins' defense exhibited vulnerabilities, conceding 28 points and over 400 total yards in their previous loss. Additionally, the Jets have struggled against the run, allowing an average of 132 rushing yards, ranking 28th in the NFL. The Dolphins, with the second-best rushing game, could exploit this weakness. Looking at the overall picture, both teams are expected to move the ball effectively, with the Dolphins likely to capitalize on their potent offense. The Jets, buoyed by recent success, are also anticipated to find the end zone multiple times. Therefore, one should anticipate a high-scoring affair where both teams contribute to surpassing the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. The intricate dynamics of the matchup and the recent performances of each team paint a vivid picture of what promises to be a compelling American Football Conference East battle on the gridiron. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.